there. Next question is, what do I think of Alexander Dugin? I met him one time at a conference in Russia. He's an important anti-imperialist intellectual. He is a traditionalist conservative. He was a founding member of the Russian Communist Party. He was a dissident in the 1980s, from what I understand. He was like kind of a dissident. It was like some kind of dissident in the 80s. He wasn't in with the Soviet government. After the fall of the Soviet Union, he was one of the founding members of the Communist Party of the Russian Federation, of Zhuganov. After that, I believe he broke away from the Russian Communist Party and started something called the National Bolshevik Party, which was an attempt to, use punk rock aesthetic to build kind of a more radical and more slightly nationalistic version of the Russian Communist Party. Eventually, he was kicked out of that party. And his views have shifted, and from what I understand, Alexander Dugin now calls himself a traditionalist conservative. He draws from the geopolitical school of thought called Eurasianism, and he wrote a book called The Fourth Political Theory. He's influential in Russia, and that's Dugin. He has his own views. As a traditionalist conservative, he rejects the notion of historical progress, which is central to my beliefs. I believe in historical progress. I am all about historical progress. Dugin rejects that. Dugin also argues that, he's an Orthodox nationalist. I believe he's a Russian Orthodox nationalist. That's Dugin, right? I'm not a Duginist. I don't share Dugin's perspective, but I respect him as an important Russian intellectual, just like I respect, Shia Islam and the Iranian system. They call it not capitalism, but Islam, and they're Shia Muslims. I'm not a Shia Muslim. I'm a Christian. But I do respect their anti-imperialist views, even though they are not coming from a left-wing place. They're coming from more of a traditionalist and religious place. I respect it. I respect, Dugin and his views. I respect the Iranian anti-imperialists and their views. I respect Bolivarian socialism. I respect socialism with Chinese characteristics that has, adopted elements of Confucianism and Chinese traditional society to go along with their socialism in China. I respect Bolivarianism. I respect Ba'athist Arab socialism. I respect different anti-imperialist schools of thought. Look, I was quoted in the latest issue of the Nation of Islam's paper. Minister Farrakhan, his newspaper, The Final Call, quoted me in their latest issue, praising their work and defending them from media attacks. And if you are a real Marxist, if you're a real communist, right, you are an anti-imperialist, because the system of capitalism in our time is imperialism. It's capitalism in its monopoly stage. And so if you are a true anti-imperialist, right, you will be able to talk to other anti-imperialists. You will be able to engage with all kinds of anti-imperialists to try and get to a world beyond the capitalist system. So there you go. So I'm happy to talk with the Nation of Islam and talk with them. I'm happy to talk with Iranian Shia Muslims. I'm happy to talk to Russian traditionalist conservatives. That's my view. All right. The Eurasian Economic Union, and is Putin a Soviet? Well, I've been in the same room as Putin on several occasions. I didn't have a chance to ask him about this. I didn't talk with him. I was in the same room as a bunch of other people, so I'm not like, I didn't have an opportunity to sit and chat with Putin about politics or anything like that. I mean, I'm just in the same room with all kinds of other people standing there listening to him. Putin has said on many occasions, from what I understand, again, I don't represent him, okay? And don't get I'm just a guy, okay? I'm just a guy. I'm a reporter. I'm a journalist, but I don't represent Russia. I'm not Russian. I don't speak a word of Russian. I don't even speak Russian. So please do not take anything I say as if I'm speaking on Russia's behalf, because I ain't. I'm speaking on Caleb's behalf. I'm a guy from Ohio. I'm an American. I'm a Marxist. Me, not Russia. Russia, not me, right? I may work for a Russian company. I do not represent Russia, and do not think I do. And if you think I represent Russia, you're wrong. But my understanding, based on what I have read, is that Putin, admits that he was very heavily influenced by his role in the Russian security services, the KGB. And that my understanding is that while he is not a Marxist and rejects Marxism, that he does take from Marxism as well as from Christianity and Orthodox teachings. He takes some of the values from it, and that Putin, has expressed pride in a lot of the Soviet history, pride in defeating the Nazis, pride in some of the achievements, while being critical of it in other ways. I believe I heard a quote from Putin where he said that Anyone who doesn't mourn the Soviet Union has no heart. Anyone who seeks to restore the Soviet Union has no brain. That I think that is kind of where he's at. And what's so unbelievably pathetic is that in Western media, the fact that Putin mourns the fall of the Soviet Union, they act like that's a scandal. Oh my God, he mourned the fall of the Soviet Union. Ah! And it's like look at the economic fallout. I mean, I opened the last stream by reading the statistics. Mass unemployment, huge rise in drug trafficking and sex trafficking. The fall of the Soviet Union was an economic catastrophe. So, I mean, if that happened in any country, people would mourn it. So I don't understand. I just do not understand for the life of me how it's scandalous that Putin would mourn the fall of the Soviet Union. But that's the U.S. narrative, right? We're supposed to just think the Soviet Union was all bad. There's not one good thing that ever happened in the Soviet Union. And so based on that, the fact that Putin says the fall of the Soviet Union was a catastrophe, even though it was economically speaking, even though that's, it was, we're not, I mean, it's scandalous that Putin mourned the fall of the Soviet Union. So, I mean, it's just, this is how ridiculous these things are. All right. Nord Stream 2 pipeline. The Nord Stream 2 pipeline is a very important pipeline. It's, connecting Russia to European Union countries, specifically Germany, enabling Russia to sell natural gas. Very funny. That's funny. Yeah, get on the ground. No, it's the fire alarm system being tested. But, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Thank you, Humble Heights, Henry. The Nord Stream 2 pipeline. It's a very important pipeline that, is connecting, Russia to Germany. And the USA wants to kill it. The USA wants to force the Germans to import their natural gas from the United States, whereas Russia is right next to Germany. So there you go.